Good morning, everybody. So I just had to switch from one computer to the other because I didn't have permission with the other computer. So technical details. Welcome to the World Breathing Day. Could somebody check also on Facebook if we are live? I think, yes, it says we are live. And we are recording this for anybody who wants to watch later. And so we are going to join today the World Breathing Day that was initiated by the IBF, the International Breathwork Foundation, and those Jim Morningstar, for example, one of the founders, he was a very good friend to Leonard. And so many of the rebirthers, they are trained with Leonard, and they have a great initiative to call this the World Breathing Day. And we are going to talk about the healing power of breath work, and specifically about emotional healing. And I'm just letting Joanne in. And I would like to start sharing a little bit about the breath first, because I give over to some of you. And my name is Heike Strombach. I was together with Peace Virginia Arnold, or Virginia Peace Arnold, and Sarah Dawn, the founder of RIBA. After Leonard's passing, we decided that as we all three worked very close with Leonard to create RIBA together with the Spanish organization, and they will have a Spanish meeting at 4 p.m. Central European time. And so we like to preserve the rebirthing method as Leonard, the founder of modern breathwork, liked it and intended it, which meant that we prefer individual sessions in the beginning because the breathing is so powerful, and we will talk about that later. And also to have the full attention of one person. That means that we love to give this experience to people in a one-to-one setting. And so all of us here and the people that were trained by RIBA, and also Leonard used to say that in all his trainings beforehand. So this is what we are about. And of course, to preserve the teaching of spiritual purification. That means to use earth, air, water, and fire and our mind to heal our physical body, our emotional body, and our mind. And the soul is always complete and whole. So on the higher level, there's really nothing to heal. And I will go a little bit into that later also. So all of us here have experiences with the power of the breath. And we get to, all of us will share about that. So welcome everybody to our first event. Tonight we have another event in English. That's 6 p.m. Central European time. And as I said, 4 is in Spanish. And then at 8 p.m. will be in German. So you can join us for these events as well. So what is good breathing? Because the usual response is, when I say I'm a breathing teacher, first of all, people get curious, and then learning to breathe, and the usual response is, I am breathing, right? I think all of us have heard that. I am breathing. Why do I need to learn to breathe? And the truth is, there is different kinds of breathing. There's good breathing, and then there is what we could call bad breathing, or we could call it breathing that is not sufficient, that doesn't give us sufficient supply of oxygen that stresses more than it heals. So we can breathe very forceful, for example. We can breathe very limited. We can have long pauses. All this we could call breathing deviations. And they impact our well-being because we don't get enough oxygen to the brain. We are not fully alive and energetic. And also the detoxing is the priority of detoxing actually happens through the lungs and then the skin and then through stool and urination. So the power of the breath is in science very underestimated, because I once inquired to give talks on breathing. And first of all, as I'm not a medical doctor, they don't want anybody to talk about it. And in medical schools, people, first of all, don't learn anything about the mind and the power of thinking, and also very little besides the anatomy and what could go wrong on the physical level, not much about breathing. And breathing is used in all cultures for going inside, for their deeper spiritual journey. And so the healing power. So good breathing is full, complete inhale that includes the upper chest, that includes the belly, the diaphragm. And it's not forced. So we are having a full inhale, and we can do the 20 connected breaths, which is we are going to do 4 short, 1 long, 4 times. And we breathe through the nose and we keep it connected. So all of you that are watching us, you can do those. Don't do more, because you might experience tingle and vibration. And that means just energy starts moving, the oxygen starts flowing. And so let's just do the 4 short, 1 long, 1 4 times. Okay? Okay. If you did it right, you might feel a little dizzy like I'm doing now. It just means there's a power moving in your body, a force, and oxygenating your body, moving the energy, stuck energy. And that leads to relaxation. So all the healing that we will talk about basically starts with relaxation. Relaxation of our mind, relaxation of our physical body, and of course, relaxing emotionally if we have a stressful event. And trauma actually is created by resisting something that happens in the present moment. And of course, that's natural, because when we have either a physical trauma or an emotional trauma, we try to defend ourselves. We try to defend ourselves from the impact that it could have on our physical body, on our emotional body, on our experience in life. And so in that defense, we contract, we hold. And you can see people holding their breath, of course, as well, because that's how all of the different aspects in our being are connected. They're connected with our breathing. The breathing connects our organs with the outside world, with the oxygen. The breathing connects me to spirit, The breathing connects me to my thinking and my emotions. It connects everything. And so the flow of that energy of the breathing, when I contract, I stop the flow of energy. And the tendency is that we get stuck on these places where we contract. That means maybe I had a trauma, birth trauma, or I had a trauma at 2 years old. I fell, I felt alone or was left alone. And in that moment, to protect myself, I freeze, or I hold back. I go into survival mode. And so when I'm in survival, I stop participating. I stop perceiving reality as it is. I just try to hide. And that's also the way that I can store trauma into the body. That means I'm not moving what comes in. I'm just holding it inside of me. And when I hold it inside of me, it is not gone. It's not moving. And I stack it somewhere into my body. So I choose a place where I hold that pain. And in that holding place, very often later on, I create tension and then ultimately possibly a disease. So when we talk about healing, it is very important to understand, because I could say, well, if I put it inside and it doesn't bother me, or if I'm not aware of it, I should just leave it there because it's hidden. It's not in my conscious mind every day, I think, or people think. And then don't touch it, don't move it. The downside of that is that if I don't access it, it will um, it will radiate energy out of that place of hurt, of that painful place. And so it keeps influencing me. It keeps influencing the energy in my body. It keeps influencing my emotional reactions. It keeps influencing and overshadowing my present moment reality. And so I'm always the result of all my memories. In this present moment, I am a storage place of all the experience that I had in the past. And I always have this memory bank as part of my driving force in my life, how I make decisions, how I make choices. Do I make choices that are good for myself, or do I make choices that are coming from past experiences, past times when I wanted to protect myself, or when I felt unsafe, when I felt not loved and hurt? So the breath, the power of the breath, it's connected breathing, like we experienced with the 20 connected breaths. It's connected breathing, and that breathing itself is relaxing us. And it relaxes us so profoundly and so deeply that we actually can access all that locked up, stored energy in the body. And all the people here with me are rebirthers. And we will talk about how you experience that possibly in your life, but also as you are working with clients. So Aarti, for example, I might do a little introduction. Aarti Saxena is working in Rishikesh, and she has created a community for women, and she gives education and support to women, local women, in rural area around Rishikesh. So I'm very happy that you're here. And Anna Strelsky is right now traveling in Nepal, but she is native from Israel. And she's a rebirther, and she's been working also with teenagers recently. And then Joanne Eisemann is from Tasmania in Australia. So this group is specially designed for the people in that time zone. And I'm very happy that you're here. So when we help people to use the breath and relax profoundly, then we help them also to access memories, traumas, and also their golden shadow, which is their unique special force that they're bringing to this life, and can create a beautiful life for themselves, and they're maybe not daring to do that. So maybe I start with Aarti, if that's okay. And I would like you, maybe you can share something about your work that you're doing, and also how you're using the breathing and helping the women around you to heal.
Namaste everyone. I'm from Rishikesh, India, and it's very pleasing moment for me to join you all and on this platform here. And I'm working with the rural areas of Uttarakhand women. My NGO name is Samvedna. I work for them as a woman empowerment, and I give them skill development training. After that, giving some work so they can earn money for themselves and for their future for the kids. And they with that. And it's almost 10 years I'm working with them in this way. My rebirthing breathwork journey is 4 years now. I heard rebirthing breathwork from Heike in Heike's mail. And when I read this first time that rebirthing breathwork, something click in my mind. I think this is the thing which I really need, or I need to know something different. And when I met first time in March 2020 with Heike, and first my question I'm asking her, like, what is rebirthing breath work? And she gorgeously smiling and said, you have to experience it. And yeah, it's really nice. I took approx 12 sessions regularly between 1-2 days gap with Heike and Annie. And it's completely transformed my life. I have so many traumas, so many physical problems, and other things. And but it's completely changed my life, like my perception of the way of thinking, and my it's releases all like what I hold it. And I have so many personal laws about myself with my family history, for diseases and everything. And but it's completely changed. And for whole world it's really was the COVID time, but personally for me that time is very nice because Heike is with me that time, and I learned rebirthing breath work. I took 21 days training under her, and I completed that time. And after that I started giving sessions. So it's almost 4 years now. I am in this rebirthing sessions guide, birthing as a rebirthing breathwork guide. And I think more than 150 sessions I giving. 8 persons I completed 10 sessions already. And some 3, some 6 like this, some 1. And with the clients also I give, first I started with my family and friends and my Samvedna women, because they are very much suppressed from inside. They keep so much, but they didn't understand that there is some problem with that. They just, okay, this is the life, and they have to expect it. But when after the session, they, one session, 2 session, when they experience it, they are really very amazed with that what is the problem for them, what is the like some have some physical issues, some have some mental issues, but they think okay, this has happened because this has happened with the family also. But two women's also completed 10 sessions, but most of 3 to 5 sessions all they are giving. uh, but for them it's a really nice change for them. And when I got some more confidence with that, I start to giving sessions to the clients also. And the main thing which I understood, like in the starting, I was very much involved with the client and the person which I giving. And that emotions, their emotions, I took on myself, and I involved myself. Then I talked to you, Heike, and you tell me, no, you have to be separate yourself. And I also realized that if I involve too much, how heal them? Because they are come to us for their releasing trauma, or if we are involving, we suffering with them, their pain, we have to be keep separate ourselves with their problems or their just understand and release their guilties or problems or traumas without any judgment, without any perception what they are doing, what's happened in their life. We make them believe that everything is prefixed, pre-written, you have to accept it and working with that. So when I understand this, and with this perception, when I start to giving session, it's really amazing results I get with the client. I want to share want to experience with you all. Um, like one time I giving a session a guy. It's after 4 or 5 months my after my training, I giving a session to a guy. He is here with some trauma. His wife sent him to me for some releasing traumas, and her his girlfriend died few months back, and he's very much in that trauma, like he didn't forget her, and he's very much involved, and he didn't accept his wife and family and kids. He just want to be with her only, like her girlfriend. And it's really very touches me, like her wife support him to for his girlfriend. So it the one part is very really touching. And the other part, when I giving, he took 6 sessions with me. And in the third session, we are when we are going which place we are giving the session, this is more open, Heike, you see that is all side open with the under the forest, like. And after 10-15 minutes, after it's a weather is completely changed, it's too windy, too like dark, and I feel goosebumps in my body, and something is quite changed. And he just opened his eyes and like this way and read. One moment I scared what have to do, but I just keep my both hands on his heart and start Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. And slowly he getting calmer, weather getting changed, like everything normal. And when and it is that after that the session goes approx more than 1 hour. And when we finish, and he said me that she's here, she was here, and she wants to take me with her. So this is really a different experience I have, like a spirit experience I got this. And one other session, one sport person is with us, and he said that he has some problem in his legs, and he took some injections for that. And when I giving them session, and whole body is normal, but from the knees, like from knees, calf and feet are completely get wet. His knees and legs are completely get like water is coming out from in this way. And after 2-3 persons also I received, I feel this the same situation. And the common thing is they all have some nerve problem in their body. So maybe this is the thing, like a nerve problem, when we releases something with that way, if the physical condition in this way, so maybe it's the part of releasing with that water. Or
The sweating is also a form of detoxing, and so if there's
yeah, but yes,
toxin
talk.
toxins so then the sweat helps to move that out.
Yeah, but this sweating is not from the whole body. Sometimes clients sweat whole, but they only sweat under the knees, like knees, calf, feet, and sole, and whole body is normal, like that.
So
And
the problems are in the legs, and so
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
So this is the different experience I get. And one girl, I completed 10 sessions with her. And from her childhood, she has so many problems. She's my Sambedna woman and working Sambedna. And when she born, her father died after 10 days. And when she's only 3 years, her mother left. And then her grandparents take care of her, and her uncle, auntie, and cousins, they treated her like a servant. uh, Everything goes very worst with her, like whole life. But anyhow, their grandparents allow her to some get some education and like that. After that, she getting married, and again things are like in this way, and she always crying. She even is start to talk and she start to cry. She don't have any willpower inside or self-esteem, because from the childhood she's always suffering, suffering, suffering. So when I started giving sessions to her, and I think it's the fourth session she was, and she goes, because the problem from the childhood, it's we know, but something coming from the past life with her. That's why she paid in this way. But definitely nobody can accept this, that this is happens according to my some karma, or this is difficult to understand. And the same with her also. So uh, I try to take her into the some past, and suddenly she goes into the very past in the when she's in the trance. And she saw in trance, like she was a emperor in any birth, and very cruel emperor, and she killed everyone very brutally, very brutally. And she took money from them. She killed their kids. She killed some parents for the kids, like she destroy always. And after the session, she said, now I understand why my life is in this way. Everyone here to take all those revenge which I did with them. The things are not completely changed with her now, but the acceptance she is now with make the peace. And the best part is when she accept this thing, when she accept, okay, what is going in my life, this is all because what I did to the others. They come in this my life to, like my uncle, aunt, cousins, or my husband, or in-laws, all are the those they are which I giving them. Now she accept everything. She lives happily. She change her mindset. And when she change her mindset, her accepted, the things around her start to change. The best part is this, now she have a very good family, good children, like she enjoyed life, what she didn't have before. So
And
I'm
is
really grateful, Heike, that you give me this training and this knowledge to heal others and their diseases, their physical and mental, emotional issues. Really, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Your sharing is so precious, and the work that you do, because um, it needs people like you living in and involving yourself with the people that don't seem to have choices. And so Anna is also was in India a long time, so it's so precious to give people that we think they have no chance for change, to give them an opportunity. And I find that even so, the breath work, I have given sessions to women that were servants in the house of friends, and they had the most beautiful experiences of God, some of them, because they were very devotional people. And it doesn't take education in the scientific world to connect with life. And that's so beautiful about it, that we can impact and empower people on all walks of life. And what, like you say, karma, Leonard always said we can change our karma. But I think what he meant by that is more like what you're saying: the events might not stop, or things might, there might be still troubling events happening. The way I deal with it, though, the way I can accept life and making new choices. I can make new choices. I can deal with the circumstances in a different way. And that was so beautiful how you explained that when we accept, okay, maybe there was something in my past that is mirrored back at this moment, and how do I deal with it now? And then I listen instead. And that's what I wanted to talk about just a little bit. So we can either think that life happens to us, we can think that we are life, we are doing it. That's the second step up. And then we can also create with life together. And the highest of that form is as life. I create as life, as the divine power that I am. And so, but the first level of our consciousness is usually life happens to me. People do something to me. We call that also victim consciousness. And most people, before they start reflecting over their life, are in this life happens to me. There is outside impact, and that's what happened when we experience trauma. And I am victimized by it, and I have no power and I have no choice. And I think with the breathing, we can give people a choice, and we can give them power to understand and to transform the emotional reaction that I have. Because if it happens to me, I have to defend myself. I have to go out and do something. And so I switch between victim and persecutor. So then I'm in that triangle, and then finding allies who save me. And so as long as we are in that mode that things are happening to me, I don't feel powerful that I can change it. And so healing happens when I get into my power and say, it's not happening to me, it's happening because I'm attracting it for whatever reason. And now I can choose how I respond to that. And you mentioned the personal law. Just to clarify, the personal law is a basic thought that is usually responding in my emotional body to the outside events. And so if the negative thought, the personal law, for example, is I'm not loved, or I'm not valuable or worthy, then if I have that inside of me and something happens to me, then I will respond with that thought. And then I might withdraw, or I might attack or do something like that. So Yes, I like to invite. I guess it doesn't matter. Maybe we start with Anna next. Um, and you are now also you're a rebirther, and you've been working with clients, and you're now in Nepal. Would you like to share anything, either about your own journey or maybe about working with clients?
Yeah, just can you hear me well? It's starting to get windy.
Yeah.
So 1 second, sorry. I get inside just so you won't have to hear everything that's going on outside.
You are in
Um,
Pokhara in Nepal.
yes, I am. Beautiful Nepal, beautiful Pokhara. Today is New Year's Day, Nepali New Year's.
Ah,
2081 starts today. So there was this morning a huge parade in the city of all the different tribes of Nepal with the traditional outfits and music and instruments, and it was absolutely lovely. So yeah, this is about
28, the year 28,
2081.
2081, 81. Oh, wow. Okay.
81, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We're in the future here.
Fantastic.
So I'll tell a little bit about myself. My journey with rebirthing started during COVID. I suffered from depression most of my life. My first thought of life is hard and not good for me was when I was 8 years old. And that's how it continued. The physical implications were mostly on my skin. I had atopic dermatitis most of my life from 3 years old. And I seeked therapy with a psychologist for a few years. And after some time, I felt like I need also another way to process things, which is also through the body and not only through the mind and analysis and talking. That's where I found rebirthing, and I started going to sessions once in a while. Um, it helped me a lot, especially when it came to releasing many experiences that happened to me in the past. And it kind of merged me into one person instead of feeling like everything happened to someone else. It brought all of the pieces of myself and all of my experiences to unite into one person. And one of the reasons I'm here and I'm traveling is also due to rebirthing. I had a full journey with a woman in Israel, after which I felt that the life I had is not possible for me anymore, and my will to travel is strong and taking over. And it's been a year and a half since then that I'm on the road traveling. As I was doing that, I was also realizing that my calling and my need is to do this for other people. And that's when I found Heike. And I came this August to Germany to have the training with her at her house. And this by itself was a life-changing experience. Um, every doubt I had about our existence and our purpose in this world was dissolved during that training. Um, Experiences that I can only describe as out of this world. And my personal law was that I'm alone. And in one of the sessions, I got a very strong message and really showing me that I was never alone and that I have we all have so many different forces and protections that we can't see, but they're there for us all the time, around us, guiding us and helping us to get to the places that we're meant to be. So that personal belief was also kind of gone or dissolved within one session. And on our last session I had with Heike, I think on the last day of the training, was a really hard one. On my shadow, my worst voices, my most big critic was very present, telling me that nothing that I'm doing is right, and the session is not going well, and Heike is wasting her time, and many, many, many hard voices. And Heike directed me to embrace them, to embrace my depression, to embrace my self-hate. And as I was breathing, I really imagined it. I could imagine myself holding my arms around this demon of depression and self-hate and just bringing him close to me. And once I did that, I went into a beautiful place of bliss, and I made peace with that voice and that place. And since then, it's something that I practice still all the time. I still, of course, as everyone, have some low periods and some voices are present. But now I practice just loving them, accepting them, giving this hug to them, telling them that it's okay, that they are my way, they are my tool to master self-love, to become this greater person that I can be. And that just gave me a completely different way to relate to those places and to deal with those moments. Yeah. So this is about my personal journey. I want to share a little bit about clients. So as Heike said, I was lucky to volunteer at a school where I was giving a rebirthing session for teenagers, approximately between the ages of 10 to 16. A lot of hard stories, a lot of kids that you see that are under a lot of pressure. They want to please, they want to succeed, they want to show everyone around them their worth, confidence issues, exam phobia, many different things. One girl that I got to work with, she has severe abandonment issues. She was basically given away from her family to a close family, and separated from her brother and her parents, and kind of, like giving a new identity and like a new story she needs to tell about her new family, which is not true, of course. And she told me she was feeling a lot of heaviness. It's really hard for her to be alone, hard for her to fall asleep. When she's alone, she feels empty and heavy and very, very sad and misses her brother a lot. And on our first session already, as she was breathing, I could see there was a lot of energy moving and there was a lot of emotion coming up. Afterwards, she told me that she could feel like this lump in her heart, this lump in her chest, and little pieces were coming out through her throat and through her mouth as she was breathing. She said that they're still there, but there's a nice chunk that was out. So this heaviness definitely got some love and attention. I didn't get to be there for too long, but after a few sessions, just seeing the way she walked around in the school and this lightness that she had with her smile came back. There was light in her eyes again, and she was able to just be more present uh, in the life she has now and be happier with the opportunities that she has in front of her. So that was really beautiful. Another client I had, a woman in her late 30s, has breast cancer. She found out at a very initial stage, and we've gone through a really beautiful process together. We had 7 sessions overall. The first session started with inability to complete the session. Once the energy went high and once the emotions came up, she just turned to the side, stopped breathing, and told me to leave her alone, covering her face, covering herself, and just not wanting to continue. It was a long session and a lot of giving space and also giving a lot of compassion and love until we were able to slowly go back to the breathing. So one of the first challenges we had working together was just to complete a session. We were able to do that after 2-3 sessions. He was able to breathe without stopping voluntarily and completing the full cycle. And on our 7th session, she had a beautiful experience of feeling like there's a warm fluid going through her body, going through her spine, through the different chakras. And this warm feeling, really present feeling of movement and some trembling. And yeah, she's still doing sessions, not with me, but different facilitator. And she's treating herself in many homeopathic ways. And I really believe she will be healed fully. And a lot of, again, history in her family. She's the youngest daughter. She was never really too wanted or too important. She has a sister with some mental issues who always got the focus, and the whole family was just revolving around her. So she's used to putting herself in last place. And just recently, just a few weeks ago, I got to see her just to catch up. And she was putting the work aside, putting herself first, taking care of herself, spending much more time with her daughter, which I think is a big part of her healing. As she's spending time with her daughter, she's also healing her inner child, and her perception of what's important and how to take care of herself and how important it is to take care of herself has transformed immensely in the past 6 months that I have known her.
So it's beautiful when we are able to participate in the transformation and in the life of our clients. And that's why I love reversing breathwork so much. And why do we tell all these stories? Why do we talk about the people that we are working with? It's just to give an example how we can come from that place where life happens to us and when we feel powerless, how we can become a conscious human being. And that's a journey for all of us, of all humanity, that we step up. We have to be conscious of our thinking. We have to be conscious of our acting and the will. What do we want in our life? How do we want to participate in creation? Because we are co-creators to the divine, but we feel so so impacted by low self-esteem or by doubts about ourselves that we don't even feel that we have a say in it. And for Leonard, it was very important. Leonard, or the founder of this the reversing breath work, it was very important that we can choose, and we can look at these things so that we have a new opportunity, and that we can I lost the thought, but it's coming back to me. So we giving people a new chance, and that's what I see with the breathing. So trauma, when we have experienced trauma or pain, we are usually set in a certain mind frame of limitations. How far can I go? What can I do? How are my relationships? Are they satisfying, or are they a source of trouble all the time? And making new conscious choices for our life, like changing the personal law into a good personal law, that from I'm not wanted into I'm welcome and I'm loved, then that sets in motion um, uh, a whole ball of new experiences and new events. And so when we participate and see this transformation, it is so empowering. And the breath is just moving us through that deep relaxation to those places of understanding. So we are really connecting with infinite intelligence, where all the Akasha Chronic, where all the information is, and also my whole memory bank. And I'm connecting with this, and I'm going into a communication where I can reset beliefs and thoughts, and where I can make a new connection. And Aarti also shared about the participation of other beings or spirits or people in the astral world participating still in our life, and they are helping together with our angels, with our guides. They are participating in the transformation and the healing of our life. And so Aarti said one thing about before, that we don't engage in the trauma of other people, because basically what we are doing is we are making it, we are surrendering to their belief system. If they're in pain and I suffer with them, I'm saying, yes, it's terrible what's happening to you. And sometimes, yes, compassion, that's the key. But if I surrender to it and say, oh yeah, you are so poor, and you are so alone, and I have pity, not compassion, pity. If I have pity, then I become as powerless as they are. And if I surrender to that powerlessness and say, okay, well, that's a tragic life and no choice, I have no more ability to help, because I'm adopting their belief system about themselves. And so that's the victim, savior, persecutor triangle, that the savior says, oh yeah, we should go against the perpetrator and attack the world, and so we become powerless as they are. So we have to keep looking at a higher level. And sometimes, and both of you mentioned that sometimes the sessions, the clients enter such a deep space of regression and powerlessness and victimhood. And sometimes it is a real challenge to create awareness in them that they are just acting out on their life happening to them, and to get their attention sometimes is difficult. Like we have to talk, we might have to, sometimes I'm a bit more drastic, but this powerlessness, when people go into that victimhood, it demolishes all their choices, it demolishes their future. So somehow it is important to point that out. So and so we are not just a breathing guide, we are also really participating in that inner dialogue with them, and we have to give them suggestions. So, and ultimately we are all clients ourselves, like Anna shared, we all have our own story, we all have our own personal laws that we are still working with and transforming, and we have our own cases. We are as troubled sometimes, or we were as troubled sometimes as other people, and so that having that in mind is good to stay humble. Joanne, would you like to share anything about
I'd love to comment on what you just said, in that, well, I might just say that I've been playing around with rebirthing breathwork since 1990. So, and giving people sessions since about 2009. So, and I breathe every day. Like I have a session every day. Well, sometimes I don't, but mostly I do. And so yeah, have been doing this for a bit, not quite as long as you, I don't think, but
No, I'm only 91, so you.
and that, like, I'm starting to come to this awareness of how much like I am an energy system, and my body is an expression of my energy system, and like it's a communication of what's going on in my energy. And so when I sit with someone to breathe with them, if I'm not seeing them as perfect and whole, you know, when, especially when they go into trauma of any kind, then I'm actually opening up my energy system to being affected by that, you know, in a health way. And I had an experience recently, like I've been working with this woman that's a frequency alchemist, she calls herself, and
A frequency
and
what?
frequency alchemist. So
Okay.
she has this ability where she can look at your energy body and see all the geometric shapes and see the bits that are crooked and whatever, and can go in using light language and mudras and all these things and pull things out and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. But I had this really intense experience in my heart and it was all this stuff that I'd taken on from people in my heart over the years as a where I'd agreed with them, I'd agreed with their trauma. I could feel it in my heart as it was coming out, that I, you know, that I'd had all these like rigidities in my heart chakra and my heart, physical heart, that were coming out. And I just I think as people that sit with other people while they come into loving relationship with their breath, like we really need to be really aware of how much we're opening ourselves up to whatever's going on in that other person. Yeah, so
Thank you. Yes. Leonard called that emotional energy pollution, and he was
yes.
very criticized for that concept by some people. The idea is that we are all energy systems, like you say, and we are exchanging with our aura, with our energy, with our thoughts. What I'm thinking about and what I'm sending out towards people is felt. So we are contributing and participating in the life of each other without even doing breath work, just by our presence. And so Leonard called it the divine presence that we have, and that we can enroll other people in our happiness or in our unhappiness. And so being responsible for the energy that we are sending out is also a level of awareness, how to participate in the world and how I can impact in a positive way other people. And we're always impacting other people. And so I am going to India on the 2nd of May, and I'm so happy because I'm just going to the ashram mainly to just detach. I've been taking care of my family, my mom, who is well and happy and well taken care of, and I can go. So the emotional energy pollution, sometimes also when we are giving sessions, we can be so overshadowed by the suffering of the other person that we need to do spiritual purification, sit with a fire, taking showers and baths, and breathing ourselves, and taking responsibility for our thoughts, and so doing exercise or doing a special diet that contributes to our aliveness and not making us feel more dead. And using saints, the help of saints that are like in the world of spirit around us and participating and supporting us, and to rest properly, though, and the grace of God. So these are the 8 principles of spiritual purification that we always teach in our training. So Anna was mentioning the training. So the first week of the training is basically we focus on the person who is doing the training. Yes, we already started an hour ago, Mira, and I'm happy for you to share anything if you want to. So in the training, first of all, we do focus on ourselves, on our own self-healing, because what we shared about before is like how I impact the life of other people. So I have to first become conscious. What am I putting out in myself? How is my emotional condition before I should start working with anybody else? Right? So the first week is really looking into our process with our personal law, with our energy, and our holding back, and our traumas and this. And then we also start guiding other people, and we start participating with other people, and we do a lot of emotional work. And of course, we teach in the training how to do that emotional work also with other people. And then the training also includes a lot of professional skills, how to create clientele, how to become prosperous, for example, and having your own goals for your own life. So the training is a real profound experience, because we are together for 21 days and we're really going deep into the shadow. So the shadow is basically everything that doesn't have light. It doesn't need to be all dramatic and negative, but it is the shadow because the light can't reach it yet. So that's how I like to see shadow work. It's not always evil, darkness, or something like that. It just doesn't have light on it yet. And so with the breath work, we want to put light onto what's in the shadow. And sometimes we have a lot more fear about the shadow than what is really in the shadow, because our mind creates a story. And so we have all these stories that we try to defend and try to hold on to. And so, the breath is a miracle. And so today, on the World Breathing Day, we're having all these events to just make people aware what they can do just by simply breathing, connected, relaxing, and taking your time, and having somebody sit with you and guide you and support you through your transformation and into the light, into a more conscious, created life that makes you happy and supports the goal why you came to this life. Anybody else would like to share anything? Okay, I can talk about a little bit more about breathing deviations, or I mentioned that before. So all people that are watching this, what could you receive now from our talk here? And that's always important. So let's look at our breathing. So anybody who's watching right now, and for all of us, let's just put our hand on our chest and see if there is, when I inhale, does my chest move? Does my upper lungs come out? Or do I have to put conscious effort into it because it's somehow blocked, it's somehow not moving? And I always say, the way we breathe, the way we live. So now let's put the hand on the belly and see when you're breathing in. It's difficult to keep breathing and not changing it when we put awareness into it, but that's okay. But see when you're breathing now into the belly only, is that easy? Or is it your dominant way where you breathe? Or do you have to take an effort to make the belly come out? And you can do a little connected breathing. And then we put our hands to our sides on the ribs outside and see if your rib cage expands when you're breathing in. Okay, now we take a full inhale that includes upper chest, belly, and sides. With one full inhale, it's not forced, it's through the nose. And then releasing it just with a little snap. And let the exhale just sink and drop. And that in itself, if we just do a few of those breaths every day, already brings awareness and consciousness and energy moving into our body. And trauma or healing of the emotional mind basically just means I dare to look into what doesn't have light on its right now. And that could be positive memories, that could also be negative memories. And the important thing is don't be afraid of the memories. You have already gone through them. You've already lived through it. It's not going to be worse when it comes up, but it will be healing and freeing. And it will give you a new opportunity to create life in a different way. So it's very important that we are not afraid of our breathing, so because it is natural to us, we just suppress the breathing as well, because with the breathing, we are holding the memories back. And now when we're breathing connected, we are allowing it to come out and to flow. And that is great. And it could show in physical sensations. There can be very strong physical sensations. There can be very strong emotions. And to the point that we feel, oh, I can't endure this any longer. It's too much. And, but that is just the thought. That is just the thought of my old personal law that says I can't handle it. I'm not strong enough. I'm weak. So those thoughts come to the surface, and you have your rebirther who helps you to change these thoughts. And when you even feel I can't do this, it's impossible, it's just the thought. You have to remember, and the willingness in ourselves, in the client, that we are breathing to make that effort, to make that step forward. And so because it is so powerful, we do want the first 5 sessions always in person with somebody there who can hold the space and can hold us physically. Once we are a little bit more aware of it, then we can play with it more. And then so one question is, how can I use the breathing every day? And I might hand it over to Joanne for that. So how can we use the breathing every day in our life to create more energy?
Oh, well, one thing I do is that, like, with any sort of discord that comes up in my life, like, I'll stop immediately and start doing a slow connected breath and going near whatever it is in my body that's in discord to have a chat with it. So it's sort of like a little mini session I do, and I'll do that, sometimes 5 or 6 times a day. I also will use connected breathing when I'm around other people that are feeling in stress about whatever, or to to be supportive, but also so that I don't get pulled into whatever's going on. I think that's the way I use it on a daily basis to serve me.
Yeah. Yeah, I take a bath in the morning and I relax in the bathtub and breathe. And then also in the evening. And I feel like when I bought the ticket to India, I suddenly realized, oh my God, it's creating stress because I have to get things ready. And so I was sort of like noticing some panic thought in my mind. And the breath is really what helps. And moving forward, of course, and not keep running that thought. And my breathing session is always tuning in to my higher intelligence and to understand what is it that I need to do. So when we are giving ourselves mini sessions or bigger sessions, basically we are aligning ourselves.
Sure. Like, I give myself a big session every day in the bath as well, and it always, like, it just feels like like it's not particularly about anything. It will just be energy coming up in my body that makes me want to go away, not stay, and then just staying with it until I never want to leave. That's my, I know I've got there when I never want to leave.
Right.
Which is such a beautiful space to be in. Like, I know I'm really with myself then.
And that all the flow, it also creates all the hormones and the body functions, and all that gets stimulated in a healthy way. So that's
right.
what it's not just the emotional work, it's also that the emotional work impacts the physical, like Anna shared about the skin, how you can transform your physical reactions that might have been there for a long time. And so in the scientific, the medical profession, basically it is just focus on those physical sensations, but not checking where is it actually coming from. Is there a cause that if I don't remove that cause, no matter what I do on the physical level, how many organs I take out, the problem will still be there. And so that's and of course in emergency, the medical profession, we can be very grateful for all the things that they do, and it has its place. In the longer term healing power, it is just fixing a short-term problem, and it's not curing it on the long run. So you mentioned cancer. So, I mean, we never know where the total cause is coming from because our memory bank is so big, including all these lifetimes and including all the karmic responsibilities and all that. So we can't say you did something wrong and just, putting on that blame. That doesn't work. There is something that needs to show itself, and it shows itself sometimes through trauma and through pain or disease. And the only change that I have to do is, how do I look at these things? And for us, I think it is also to look at how can I keep my body healthy and alive as I choose to. That means not to surrender what Leonard called the death urge and say, okay, I have a limited time and I have to surrender to certain diseases. Because the medical doctor, I heard recently a medical doctor telling a woman with Parkinson, she had already survived 12 years, and she went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, it was only meant for 8 years of survival. That's so she came back totally discouraged by that doctor, who said, well, 8 years was what you're supposed to live on. And I mean, sometimes there's not much sensibility and
See, that's a perspective thing, isn't it? Like, she has actually performed a miracle. She's outlived their prediction by 50% already. Like, that's an incredible miracle. It's wonderful. And can probably do that again and again and again.
Right. And so believing anybody who has a label of a disease has to say, I don't accept that any longer. Because if I accept that label of a disease, it means I will follow the next steps that are predicted. And so the healing that I used to do and still sometimes participate in with Bruno Gröning, the spiritual healing, basically is focusing, you never accept the label, the title, because you're buying a whole package. And that whole package is filled with beliefs, with emotions of everybody who had that title, that was put in that box. And so when we go conform with the scientific box that we are put in, we're accepting the whole system, the whole beliefs, and the whole prognosis about it. And that is devastating, for people when they have cancer and somebody tells them you're only going to live this long now. That is getting a death sentence. Who says how long you would live? Who says that you can't heal it? And we do have to use appropriate, proper methods. And we have to be scientifically watching over it. Does it produce a result? I have to see and observe the results that it does. And people have healed themselves from all diseases. Not everybody chooses to do that. And so we have to be really, really careful with labels. And so that's what I love about the rebirthing breathwork too. It is, we work with the whole person. When somebody comes to us, we are not saying, okay, what is your label? Okay, and this is what we do. We are working with the whole being. That means their thoughts, their feelings about life. Maybe we need to look at the relationships. Maybe we need to look at the professional work they do, their unhappiness, maybe in their workspace, and then, of course, in childhood experiences. And we get to know somebody so profoundly and so deeply and that we become really close, intimate friends because we are creating that relationship with them. And we are looking at all aspects. And so trauma has not just one event. It usually has a cluster. It attracts more. It's not just one time something terrible happens because of all the past lives and everything. There's an accumulation of experiences, and we are looking at everything. And we have been working on ourselves with all the mind mastery, with the emotional mastery, and our physical practices, that we can make good comments and suggestions. And we're working with gratitude, with love, with community. Okay, anybody, I hand over the word. Anybody would like to share about different ways? Aarti, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, what we talk about the medical and some physical situation. I already faced this, that my both knees are not worked well, and doctor suggested me to do knee transplantation, both knees together. And I'm not even able to stand up by myself, and for walking somebody hold me and take some to the other, and almost 15 months, 15, 16 months I'm on the bed and took so many painkillers, antibiotics, which makes me some other side effects also. But when till that time, this is in my mind that I am ill, I have this problem. When I decided, when I understand that no, that it's not healed me, because this is not a solution. The solution is inside, and I have to work on myself. And when I self-healing process goes into the self-healing process with my mind, with my breathing, with the sessions, and doing more, going more deeper in this way. And now I am without, since almost 2 3 years, I didn't took any single pill for any problem. And I'm walking, I am going stair up for third, three, fourth floor without any trouble. And there is no problem I feel now. And it's almost 15 years I took thyroid tablets. It's 100 mg I took. And it's 8 9 months before I stopped this also. And I have nothing before. If one day I missed, my whole body swelled up, and it's really complicated. But now it's more than 9 months I didn't took any pill for thyroid, or normally for knees and all I stopped almost more than 2 3 years. And now I have not any problem with that. And this is all just the when feel, sometimes I feel headache or some little problems, just connected to my breathe. And what like feel, keep my hand on my heart and stomach, like solar plexus, and just focus on the breathing, going deeper into breathing, and it's all release. And giving the sessions to myself, and it's really really changed the things.
Wonderful. And I just want to say for everybody listening, we are not saying you should be doing anything that you don't want to. Like if you're believing in what your doctor is telling you, you can follow. And if you do, you have to trust and believe that that is working for you. So you can also bless the treatment that you have. And at some point, you might make a different choice, but that choice is only yours. It is not because somebody else says you should not take medication, you should not go the medical route. That would be irresponsible. So everybody needs to see which kind of support do I want now. And so if this is the medical route and this approach, then follow it, but trust 100% that it will help you. Because if you have doubts, it's useless. So if you do something, whatever you do, become confident. And this is what I think all of us here are experiencing. We have that confidence in the power of the breath. And that confidence came through deep inner work that we've been doing on ourselves. And it's not just a superficial belief or one-time experience, but we are connecting with the depths of ourselves and discovering or rediscovering the healing power that I have inside of myself. And the breath is the key for that self-healing power. Before you get there, if you don't have it, take anything that is offered to you as your support and your help. And follow that and trust in it. So you can bless the medication, you can bless, even so you know what side effects could be coming from it, do it wholeheartedly if that's your choice. And it is good to develop trust in some alternative things that don't produce those side effects. That don't. So the main cause of death right now is multi diseases. So, like, it's not just one disease. It is like side effects, like multi-failure in the body. And often that can be produced by the side effects of medication. So, and we are divine beings. We have the support of the Creator at our side. That means we are not designed to be sick, to be weak, to be powerless. There is no good force out there that says you have to endure this because I want you to suffer. We have to check in, how is my religious training and religious trauma that I was impacted by, which belief system do I think the universe is supporting me? Do I think that there is a good force behind me that supports all my good actions and my desires? And I think that is the main key for all the healing. And I also see that when people have a connection to their higher power, they heal faster because they don't feel so alone in the universe, that it's only me. And then we are back to the life happening to me. If I can feel that I'm an important part in the whole of all creation, and that there is good forces that are always at my side, and yes, there is there is Rudolf Steiner, which I'm studying now. He calls the Luciferic and the Ahrimanic forces. So Lucifer is basically the aspect inside of us that says, oh, I don't need anybody. I'm superior to everything. And I'm up here. And then the Ahrimanic forces is like that. Oh, I'm stuck. I have no flexibility and no power. And so we have to find that balance. And we find that balance in the community where we are part of the whole. We are not better than anybody else, and we are not worse than other people. And so this is part of the healthy expression of our divine nature, to know that I'm a unique part in the pond of all souls, and I'm here with a specific task and specific qualities, specific talents that nobody else has, and that I'm here to express. Well, that is actually, anybody likes to share about that? Our divine connection and healing power from trust and love.
I think it's the great sort of like cosmic joke, really, like that, because as we go on, we just learn more and more that like everything around is supporting us, even all the stuff that we think isn't. It actually is. You know, it's this grand orchestration that's so magnificent. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. And it gets more fun as we go down the path. Hey,
Right. That's a good news for all people that are suffering. It gets lighter. It does. It
That's the
because
whole problem. We bring more light into ourselves, like we just let more light be in there. So of course it gets lighter. There's no other way to go.
and we might still have challenges. We still have things that life throws at us, and but I don't feel like I'm victimized by it. But I have to just make choices. We have to make choices every day, and so our will. That's the new development. So Rudolf Steiner talks a lot about the future of humanity and also the past, of course. So in the past, people were like collective beings. We were overshadowed by the family decisions, by the cultural decisions, and we. When somebody was born into a family of farmers, they stayed farmers. If they were born into a family of some craft or something, they stayed there. Now, life is changing because we are using our willpower, we are using our choice. And that's so wonderful that we have that opportunity to use our free will and step out of conditions and conditionings and say, well, that is good for you. I make new choices. And traveling like Anna is a great choice. I did that also for most of my life. I was on the road somewhere, and that's the way of experiencing a world in a different way and immersing ourselves in different cultures. And so I think it broadens our view of who as humanity we collectively are, because we tune into different thought and emotional streams of consciousness of different cultures, and it broadens our view, and it also gives us more choices. I can say, okay, I like that and I like this, and I'm not trapped.
Yeah, I would like to add on that making those choices, for me, that's like the true feeling of freedom, when we're able to make the choice and we're not controlled by our past experiences or conditioning from this life. And now, whenever I strive and do whatever it takes to make myself happy, I don't see it as something selfish. I see it as contributing to the whole consciousness of the world, that if I'm happy, that I'm able to spread light. And even under very challenging and hard circumstances, it even strengthens this feeling more and more. And it's really nice to feel so committed to it.
Right. Yes, and you're doing good wherever you go. You're still shining your light, and you participate in the life of other people. So it doesn't matter in which circumstances we are. If we are taking care of our children, we are living in one place. Joanne is creating this beautiful place for healing, and we are all doing our part in contributing to the aliveness of humanity and we are raising the consciousness of the planet. And so if there is any last words, then I would give that opportunity to you. And anything else, Joanne?
Oh, I just want to say thank you, Heike, for creating this, and how lovely it is to listen to you and others speak about breath and the power of breath. It's just music to my ears.
Thank you. Aarti, anything before we finish?
Yeah, just really thankful to you, Heike. You show me this path and where I heal myself physically, emotionally, mentally, and now able to heal others in this way. And it's really gives a joyful feeling when a client completed their session and they share their feedback, and that is really giving the peace and happiness, the joy, feeling of joy is really very nice. Thank you again. Thank you to all of you with your beautiful experiences and nice sharing. It's really lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Heike.
Thank you. And thanks to COVID, I got stuck in India for 3 months.
Yeah.
And I had a lovely time, all COVID. It never stopped
Yes.
me in any way. And 3 months I spent at Rishikesh Sadan with Aarti and doing 2 trainings.
Yeah, it's that time is really that's why I said for whole world it's really not a good time for COVID, but luck, we are really very lucky. Like this is the universal blessings that we have in that COVID time, that we are together, and every moment like a blessing for that time for us. Yeah. Thank
Yes.
you.
Anna, anything?
Just grateful for you, for the community you're creating, and it's very inspiring to be here and listen to all of you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Anything, Mira, you would like to say?
Well, just a little bit. I have 2 minutes when I need to be at work. I'm just, yeah, I wanted to say that yesterday I really had this moment, like a deep insight, that I somehow need to come back to rebirthing. And it was touching me so deeply. I think that's why I have so many emotions coming up. And so my mind is trying to calculate now the possibilities, how I can do this, whether it will be with you or with someone else, I don't know. And right now, I think that's what's causing a lot of turbulence inside.
Well, that's good turbulence. Confusion is the state before enlightenment, and we need to be confused about the past because then we make new choices for the future.
Yeah.
So yes, and you wrote down my email address. It's heikestrombach@gmail.com, and anybody who likes to connect. And yeah, and you find a beautiful breath worker who will bring you back into contact with the breath. Thank you for participating.
Yeah,
And
thank you, Heike.
have fun at work. Where are you from, actually?
Estonia.
Oh, okay. I've been there so many times.
So yes, but I'm here, but at the same time, my whole journey inside is somewhere else. So it's, yeah. But now I have to go. So
Okay. Thank you
yeah.
for talking and
Yeah.
listening, and have fun at
Thank you.
work.
Bye.
Okay. And so for today, just a little announcement. We are going to have the next meeting at 4 at my European time. Now it's 12, so in 4 hours, the Spanish group will come, and Irene Jovi Bauman and Armando Sanchez will be talking with different rebirthers in the Spanish community. At 6 p.m., Peace, Virginia Arnold, and Sarah Dawn will come together with me, and anybody who's there. You will be sleeping already by that time. And we will have guests then. And then at 8 p.m., we have a little sharing also in German. so that my German community, Leonard called it my German mission. When I was living in the US, at some point he said, you have to go back and take care of your German mission. So I have to also serve my community here in Germany. Thank you, everybody. And find a good breath worker. That means find somebody who is trained in all the aspects of spiritual purification, who gives you a good personal individual session and can be there with you and support your transformation. This is not about just a kick of energy or an outrageous experience. It's a real deep journey, and that takes a bit of time and quality. So thank you, everybody here who was with me this wonderful time. And yes, I see you soon in different places, different events. And everybody on Facebook watching us, I saw a few hearts, no comments, but no but. Lots of love. Om Namah Shivaya. Truth, simplicity, and love. And enjoy the day. And there will be many different events in many countries today about to share and to celebrate the World Breathing Day. And thank you to the IBF for inspiring us to do that. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah
I will
Shivaya.
finish the meeting, and lots of love to all of you.